name? All right, tell me exactly what's happened. What? Tell me exactly what's happened. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? What's going on? Hello?
That was just a clip of the 911 call that Dr. Suzanne Mericle made in March of 2025. She contacted police to tell them, we do not know. We don't know because all the calls she called multiple times sounded exactly like that. In fact, when police arrived, they made it clear that they were arriving to an unknown call. They didn't know what transpired. This is part 3 of day 1 of the killer dentist murder trial. If you have not been following the case, I'm going to give you a recap. As always, trigger warning. Dr. Suzanne Mericle is currently facing murder charges for allegedly taking the life of her boyfriend back in March of 2025. Now, according to the defense team, they're stating she was a victim of self-defense or a victim of domestic violence. It did so in self-defense. The state is stating that that's not true. In fact, she found out that he was taking care of a woman in Moldova, sending her money. They constantly argued about that. They had a very toxic relationship. This time, she took his life. Let's get into the first witness, which is Deputy Zachary Martin. He was the first officer on the scene. Again, the nature of the call was problem unknown. He shares that the initial call from her was at 1:11 a.m., then at 1:13 a.m. By the time they arrived, it was between 1:19 and 1:22. They asked him, was anybody waiting outside the house? He said no. In fact, when they arrived, they could see that there was a hole going through one of the windows upstairs. So he and the other deputy, they approached the front door of the house to attempt to make contact with their caller. You know, they didn't know who it was, so they referred to him exclusively on body cam as the caller. So at this point, they're starting to look around and they notice that there's some movement. They even say that at one point he had to kind of use these flashlights that were like really bright because they wanted to see inside of the house. It was dark. He says that when he does that, he sees Suzanne crunch down, drop the towel down, and kind of as if she was scrubbing the floor. He then says that they start kind of walking up to the first set of stairs. At this point, she turns around, she sees them, she continues scrubbing the floor. He continues yelling loud, "Sheriff's office, please come out," to the point that the neighbor came out, but Suzanne, she still didn't come out of the house. At one point, he actually thought he was going to have to breach the house, but she finally decided to come downstairs when the second deputy arrived. He shares that she finally comes downstairs. He immediately is approached by her. He tells her, go with my friend or whatever. The friend is the second, not the friend, the partner. He is the one interviewing her during this time so that this particular deputy can then go inside and walk through the house. Now, they did share body cam footage. Keep in mind, if you heard that 911 call, if you see that TV is far away, not one soul zoomed in to even allow us to see what the body cam looked like. They do talk about the fact that it looked as if the murder weapon was kind of pushed towards him. They ask him, like, what was his role that night? He says his role is really to make sure none of the evidence inside of the residence is removed until the crime scene arrives on the scene and they're able to gather all of the information. And again, they talk about the fact that where they lived was a cul-de-sac. The defense then starts asking him questions. You know, listen, when you arrived, were you told who owned the home, who didn't? He goes, no, when we arrived, there was a problem unknown. No one knew why they were there. We were trying to get information. In fact, that is why it's called problem unknown, because it's as if they're letting them know that the 911 operator tried to ask questions, but couldn't get out the information from the caller. What was interesting is that the defense team was really adamant about the fact that she was not coming downstairs with the cell phone. She left the phone upstairs. The police officer, this deputy, says that she came downstairs with the phone, and he said, okay, did you grab the phone when she had it? It looks like she didn't have it when she arrived downstairs, but he saw her have the phone. She wasn't searched or anything like that. They couldn't confirm if she, in fact, walked downstairs with the phone or not. The next witness is, in fact, Richard Thomas. That's the other deputy. They talk about the fact that he arrived. He started trying to interview her. He said, again, we didn't have much information. Someone called and said that they needed police. And, when we arrive, we hear or another call coming in saying he's dead, there's blood everywhere. At this point, they were knocking. They were trying to get someone to come to the door. When she comes to the door, she is hysterical. She wouldn't answer any of the questions, not even her name. And in fact, they showed the body cam, which is about an hour long, of this particular deputy, where he is talking to her, trying to get something out of her. And she is just screaming, crying, saying, God, please help me. At this point, they make it clear that they recorded the scene for about 3 hours. She was asking for water. She just couldn't get anything out. They couldn't understand what happened other than he has never been this upset. We get in arguments, but this has never been like this. I was scared. That was kind of a few things that she was saying to him while the other deputy cleared the scene. Now, the rest of the afternoon was between the body cam footage and other witnesses. I don't know who they are because unfortunately, both Court TV and Law and Crime have taken down today's trial. I don't know if something happened. Sometimes they show things they're not supposed to and they have to clean it up before they post it again. Once it's posted again, we will go into part 4. Talk to you soon.